Replacing the fork seals in VFR NC30. Step 1 will be to loosen a number of things whilst they are still on the bike. Namely, it is the fork top that you need to loosen. So what we have got here, size 24 socket, going to put that on there. So the first step would be to loosen that. Then bolts that are in here, so there will be one in here, and I believe the forks out. There is a bolt down here also that needs to be undone, size 14. So what you need to do is you need to undo this one up here. There are two on the handlebars. In through here, you can just see the rusty one on top of my finger there. There's two of them there. So undo that, undo the two here, undo this particular size 14 bolt here. Other considerations are these bolts here need to be removed from the mudguard stays, and then you will see that the fork is actually loose. So as you can see, it's dropping up and down through the yoke there. So it is. Here we loosened off the preload there. Size 24, it goes on the top. Now we've pre-loosened this already. If you weren't to loosen it whilst it was still in the clamp, what would happen is the whole entire thing would spin just like that. So that's why it's important you loosen that off prior to taking out of the 333 or the headstock. So what you do is just loosen that off just as normal. There we go. Until the top comes off. The top will just come off just like that. That's what this looks like, nice and straightforward. That sits there, and now all the oil will be in the fork. I'll undo my vise, and there will be some oil, and the spring is also in there. Now what we're going to do, go ahead and pour the old oil out. Just pump up and down a couple of times just to get all the oil out of the fork. So next step is get standard broomstick. Upside down fork goes on there, and that's to hold all the bits in place. What you're going to do is with your Allen key. The Allen key is going to go into the top here, and then you're going to just apply pressure down on top of the fork and just undo the bits here. Okay, so now that we've loosened that off, when you go to take it off, all the components are going to fall out. If you just with care you take it up. Okay, I'm going to lose a bit more oil actually, but all the components will be there waiting for you to take out. Actually splitting the fork in two, so what you need to do is get a flat-headed screwdriver, and with your flat-headed screwdriver what you're going to do is get in underneath the dust seal which is in on top. Get in underneath there with your screwdriver and twist in. I'm just going to slide straight up. Off it comes. If you're replacing these seals as I am, you're going to be throwing those out. Next thing in here, you'll see a circlip. Now this circlip has got an indentation here which makes it accessible, and that's what the circlip looks like just there. Okay, set that also to one side. Now this is the bit where the fork seal comes out. Now what this requires is a slide hammer action. So what you're going to do, and there it comes, and that is the fork dismantled. To clean the forks and to clean the groove here where the circlip fits into, if you have a handy dentistry tool, and you can get in there and clean all the way around the groove, all with a bit of contact cleaner. Clean it all up, get in there with a rag, and have it all tidy. And is the fork at the very top there was a small groove. Cover that up with tape, and also wipe the fork sanction down with some or 1500 type of wet and dry, just to take off any light corrosion that might be on there. Now when it comes to reassembly, what you need to do is, like I said earlier, cover up the stanchion right there with the with the electrical tape to make sure that it doesn't snip the new seal. Now the new seal has got two sides to it. There's a side with a rather large indentation and there's a side with a rather small indentation. The way this goes on is that it goes so that the large indentation is facing downwards. So what you're going to do is take a small bit of oil and just put it around the rims of it, just to make the sliding of the new fork seal down a lot easier. So just taking the oil, some new oil, some old oil, doesn't really matter, as long as it is all there to lube the fork seal. So what you're going to do is gently put it on to the fork. So you're taking your time to put it on, going over the electrical tape. Just continue to twist and slide it down, okay, and that is now the fork seal in place. Now for the reassembly, what I have done, I've got the new fork seal on here, I've got the old fork seal to drive it down, and all I've done is just there's nothing in this fork lower right now. All I've done is just put it on and just simply inserted that in there like that. The next step is what you want to do is get the lower part of the fork, the internal componentry. What you're going to do is just put it together the exact same way that you took it apart. So what you're going to do is you're going to get the part, you're going to drop it into the fork. Just get it in there. If you lower it down, okay, so that's hit the bottom there. And then what you're going to do is exactly the same way that you took it apart. You're going to turn the fork upside down. You're going to put it onto a broom handle. And then the same way you took it apart, in goes the hex bolt. And that tightens up there. So bearing in mind, this is a DIY guide and not a workshop guide. What we have got, we don't have a seal driver. We've just got the old seal on top to drive it down into place. So what we do is we slide the new seal down, get it roughly into place, and then what you do is with the old seal, you just use that to drive it into place. So you place it on top of it, and then with a hammer you just drive it all the way around, tapping it all the way down into place, nice and even, all the way around, tap it around, tap it around, tap it around, tap it around, and eventually it will bed into its final resting place. Okay, so you continue to batter the new seal into place by hitting the old seal on top here. So I've hit it all the way around, and as you can see now, it's pretty much flush with the top of the fork. And what you can do now is to check it, just pull the fork up, and if you look in there, there is a bit of a recess to which the circlip sits into. You can see now that the new fork seal is below that, so it's now in place, and in it goes, slides down till it snaps into place, and then the dust seal can go on. The dust seal goes on the exact same way as the fork seal did. So you just go to the top, you just put it over the top, and you just slide it down. This one is simply a dust seal, so you can just slide it down as without any great care. Just slide it down all the way into place and batter it into place with the rubber mallet, as I did. Be to put in your spring. So the spring just goes in. All you do is you just drop that straight in the top. It just drops in, and once that drops into place, then you place the spacer up on top of it. In it goes, and then finally you just replace the cap. So the fork cap just goes on, sits into place, tighten it up, and the job is done. Now the amount of oil that goes in is in the Haynes manual, and so that does require a bit of explanation. I don't have my Haynes manual to hand, but it can be found in the Haynes manual as I have done it before.